The rumor mill in Atlanta has suddenly gone into overdrive. With a narrative that had the internet in a panic, Momma Dee strode into the night. Rumor has it that Mendeecees was seen at a chic Buckhead location, spooned a mystery woman and fed her bites in between giggles while leaning in close. Now, before you draw any conclusions, keep in mind that this is commentary rather than proof. We're analyzing the content, the reasons for its popularity, and how a single sighting sparked a domino effect in the love and hip-hop communities. Fans are taken aback. With timelines filled with shaky eyewitness play-by-plays, hazy views, and frenzied captions, group chats are overflowing and emotions are running high. Momma Dee, did you really catch something? Or is this merely another concoction of chance and camera angles? The comments cause division within the family. There is a strong chorus questioning whether this is really about romance or just clout and bad timing, while others are side-eyeing Mendeecees and championing Yandy. We're peeling back all the layers tonight. Who else was present, where it occurred, and why this one allegation might have such a profound impact on alliances, unions, and friendships. Once more, none of this is official. We're examining the responses, the buzz, and the receipts that people claim to have. Are you ready? Let's start the drama now. What should have been a typical night out in Atlanta was rocked by Momma Dee's remarks, which came down like thunder. The restaurant was already bustling with activity. There was background music. Then, leaning in, she informed Scrappy and the others that she had seen Buckhead and Mendeecees not with Yandy, but with another woman, not merely sitting across the table, but squeezed in close, exchanging bites from the same fork. It appeared far too personal for her comfort, she said. Suddenly, the air changed. Scrappy attempted to dismiss it, but her words had weight. Rumor wasn't spread in a light-hearted manner. It was the voice of a mom who thought she had just seen something genuine. The group froze, and the cameras captured every facial expression, every uncomfortable twitch in that quiet. Later, fans kept playing the video over and over again, focusing on Scrappy's response, stopping to listen to the background chatter, and some even claimed to have seen the truth in Mendeecees' eyes. When Yandy's name began to gain popularity, the rumors about an accidental supper in Atlanta became more serious. It developed into a plot about loyalty, treachery, and whether marriages in this day and age can withstand the scrutiny of reality TV and the incessant chatter of rumors. Mendeecees had always exuded composure and tended to avoid tense situations. However, he was in the middle here, a firestorm. The murmurs were quick. There were a lot of angry responses on social media by the time the video was broadcast. According to other followers, Momma Dee was exaggerating since she always enjoyed stirring things up to get attention. Others said that the details were too vivid and her delivery was too accurate to be dismissed as light-hearted criticism. Who was this Miami Circle woman? Why was she close enough to exchange nibbles and spooning? Why did it appear that no attempt was made to conceal it? Everyone in Atlanta knows someone who knows someone, and there are cameras everywhere. Others undoubtedly saw what Momma Dee claimed to have seen. Amidst all of this, Yandy's situation appeared more precarious than before. She has always maintained her composure and polished demeanor while juggling her business with the tumult all around her. How much does she really know? Is she defending a man who is too comfortable walking the streets with another woman? Or is this all smoke and no fire? Fans were now asking. According to reports, friends of hers told her to forget about it and not disclose rumors, but the cameras, blogs, and fans made it nearly impossible to remain silent. Every action she took on Instagram, every caption, and even the lyrics she chose for a real song were analyzed for hidden meanings, and the Frost family unavoidably joined the discussion. Kirk and Rashida, who already had a complex past, were now being compared to Mendeecees. This went too far. In a private chat with Scrappy, he expressed how upsetting it was to hear another man talk about his personal life all the time. Kirk, in particular, was accused of spreading rumors by making sly remarks that appeared to be directed at Mendeecees and even implying a poly relationship with Jasmine. Obsession, even darkly joking that he hoped Kirk didn't really want to see what he kept bringing up. The humor couldn't cover the frustration, and the notion that his marriage was being dragged through the mud by alleged friends added another layer of tension. Meanwhile, Jasmine's name reappeared as if her past storyline couldn't be put to rest. And there were whispers about whether she was. Fans started to speculate that Jasmine was once again the shadow between couples, and she tried to deny it, saying she had nothing to do with it. but the damage was done. Once your name is linked, it's hard to shake the image, and the cameras thrive on those lingering suspicions. At some point, something related to the most recent rumor started to swirl. Remaining unfazed, she intensified her confessional, asserting that she was aware of what she had witnessed and that she wasn't the kind to fabricate stories for the sake of filming, framing it as her obligation to speak the truth, particularly when it concerned the son of a woman she loved. "What am I supposed to do if I saw him spooning and feeding another woman?" "Remain silent," she urged firmly. Fans couldn't decide whether to applaud her honesty or roll their eyes at her timing. Some accused her of protecting women, while others accused her of destroying relationships for personal gain. Her words struck a chord because they were delivered from a place of self-righteous certainty. The disagreement only strengthened the plot because, in reality TV, the more polaris the fans, the more compelling the plot. As a result, the video continued to be shown, the argument continued to intensify, and the conjecture only got more intense. At the core of it, the question was no longer whether Mendeecees was truly spooning someone, but rather whether his Yandy's silence began to feel heavy, like a silence full of calculations. Does she ignore it, or was her relationship with Yandy really that solid? Were they a power couple immune to the chaos, or were they just as susceptible to the same messy betrayals that plagued everyone else on the show? The night in Buckhead became a symbol of more than one rumor. It became a question of trust, loyalty, and whether love in this franchise ever truly escapes the grip of scandal. Supporters were waiting to see what she would do next, and every moment she remained silent only increased the tension. Continued, the story wouldn't go away, and rumors about who else might have been in that restaurant started to circulate. The network of witnesses and the gravitational pull of the spotlight made it impossible to bury, leaving everyone wondering the same thing: who stands to gain from dropping such a bomb into Yandy and Mendeecees lives if Momma Dee is telling the truth. By the following morning, blogs had taken notice of Mad's claim, and social media threads and every gossip page that ever mentioned love and hip-hop had a headline spinning the same angle. Was Mendeecees really caught spooning another woman? The wording varied, with some referring to it as an intimate dinner and others declaring it flat out. Momma Dee never lies. She just loves chaos. The clip of her casually dropping the bomb while drinking her drink became a meme, and people were looping the moment she leaned in. Her tone changed as if she were serving cold tea hotter than any fire, and comments poured in. Mendeecees is out here wildening, and Yandy deserves better. Yandy initially chose not to confront the issue directly, but her silence was deafening, as fans suggested hidden messages in every picture she shared with motivational quotes. "When you know your worth, you don't entertain foolishness," she captioned one photo. No one could ignore the way her face looked in public appearances, poised, yes, but with a tension around her eyes that told a deeper story. Mendeecees, on the other hand, seemed almost calm, posting gym clips and smiling. Immediately, people speculated that it was about the rumor. Some fans praised her, while others accused her of deflecting. "People love headlines more than they love facts," he said, mocking the comments in one live broadcast featuring his children. He dismissed the notion that it indicated anything, but he did not deny being at the restaurant. "You guys are going to make it a controversy if I sit at a table," he said, but the table wasn't the issue. It was the closeness Momma Dee talked about. Like a pair in love, arms wrapped around another lady, feeding bites. Fans continued to replay her precise statements regardless of how dismissively he dismissed them. Fork in mouth, snuggled up, spooning. It created an image that will never fade. In the background, the tension just increased. During a men's night out, Kirk Frost interjected himself and made sneaky remarks that suggested Men's was leading a double life. Kirk smirked and remarked, "You can't play with people's marriages," before making fun of polyamorous relationships and entanglements. Visibly irritated, Mendy told the cameras that Kirk's preoccupation was strange and that no guy should discuss another man's personal life a great deal. His precise statements, which I hope he doesn't see, went viral on the internet. Caught in the middle, Scrappy let out a dramatic gag, declaring that he had no interest in participating in this penis talk. Fans laughed throughout the entire interaction, but some also questioned why Kirk appeared to be so involved. Never one to be silent, Rashida supported her husband's shadow, suggesting that fire is present where smoke is. She further agitated the situation by stating that Yandy is not as flawless as she seems. At that point, Rashida and Yandy's antagonism flared up again, escalating into heated disputes in which they accused one another. Rashida is being called a compulsive liar by Yandy. Rashida accuses Yandy of being irrelevant and preoccupied. Every discussion devolved into arguments about trustworthiness, marriages, and infidelity. Supporters on the sidelines were raving about it, describing it as one of the season's most dramatic confrontations. Jasmine's name also made a reappearance in the story. Her past with rumors were quick to spread about Kirk, and some admirers claimed that she was somehow related to what Momma Dee observed. Jasmine refuted that, claiming that she wasn't in the vicinity of Buckhead that evening. However, the rumors continued despite her resistance. It got worse after one slip-up in a talk with Yandy. When Jasmine last met Mendeecees, she acknowledged that he was overly amiable at a club, encircling her and her companion with arms. That insignificant remark caused a stir. Did Momma Dee allude to this pattern? Was Mendeecees showing too much warmth and casualness towards women who weren't his wife? Unfazed by the criticism, Momma Dee continued to be the truth teller. She reiterated the narrative in a different setting, going into much greater depth, adding she noticed that the embrace lasted too long and that the body language was unmistakable. She looked directly into the camera and said, "I know a man with his woman when I see it." Fans were unsure if she was being protective or simply messy, but her words were powerful because loyalty is valuable in Atlanta, and all of a sudden, people were picking sides. Bambi said, "People need to stop worrying about other people's marriages." Spice attempted to keep out of it, but couldn't help but offer her dissents, telling women to stop disregarding warning signs. It only resulted in Spice and Bambi rekindling their own conflict and accusing one another of fabricating phony homes and botched bodies. What began as a Mendeecees rumor turned into several. The fans were left feeling both dizzy and entertained by the overlapping fights, each of which was connected to the initial bombshell. There was always the same unresolved question at the heart of it all. Did Momma Dee really witness Mendeecees spooning another woman? Or the mystery only grew as cast members contradicted one another, with some defending Mendeecees and others stating they believed Momma Dee for Yandy. The most difficult aspect of the rumor was not the rumor itself, but the way it revealed flaws in her friendships. She expected loyalty from certain people, but instead she witnessed them exploiting her suffering for narratives, so she confronted Rashida and demanded to know why she was stoking the flames. Rashida retorted that Yandy was too controlling of the story and that she was simply answering questions honestly. Their heated argument descended into personal territory as Yandy brought up Rashida's previous scandals and Rashida retorted about Mendeecees. Despite all the yelling, fans noticed one thing. Yandy never explicitly denied the rumor, instead dancing around it, deflecting, and attacking others without ever looking into the camera and saying, "He didn't do it." The accusations of cheating were unfiltered, messy, and raw in a way that only love and hip-hop could deliver. That silence was louder than any denial. People began to wonder if maybe she knew more than she let on. If maybe her strategy was not to confront the truth, but to control the fallout. And that question, what does Yandy truly know, turned into the drumbeat that kept the drama going. Every hug, smile, and absence was examined as evidence, and the bombshell was no longer just a moment. It became the prism through which all interactions were viewed. The rumor became a storm cloud that hung over the entire cast, straining marriages, destroying friendships, and feeding the never-ending cycle of scandal that keeps fans glued to their screens. Atlanta thrives on spectacle, and soon what Momma Dee had casually dropped became the subject of heated debates on camera, in clubs, and even at family gatherings. The more time the rumor lasted, the more burden it became for all parties involved. The conversations that started out as whispers at dinners and private meetings swiftly turned into open confrontations, to disregard, and the positions of each individual appeared to reveal their true allegiances. One evening, a group dinner intended to diffuse tensions devolved into a battleground, with Jasmine, who had already been thrust back into the spotlight, sitting next to Yandy, and the atmosphere between them brimming with distrust. Jasmine claimed she wasn't in Buckhead that evening, but she doubled down on her. Jasmine shouted back, "Your husband had his arms around me and my friend. That's not projection, that's reality." In response to Yandy's earlier statement that Mendeecees was too amiable at the club, Yandy's eyes narrowed, and her voice was steady but stern as she told Jasmine to stop projecting her problems onto her husband. Some attempted to defuse the situation, but the words fans were even more outspoken outside of the cast, and blog pages began posting side-by-side comparisons of previous episodes, pointing out patterns. Look at the way he hugs. Look at the way he leans in. One blogger recounted, "Look at the way he hugs." The notion that male Mendeecees might be openly affectionate with other women fueled the fire. Mendeecees at various events. Suddenly, ordinary gestures appeared suspicious under the scrutiny of scandal. Fan pages put up polls asking whether or not they believed Momma Dee and whether Yandy should confront Mendeecees. The majority said that Yandy should confront Mendeecees directly, while Mendeecees continued to play it cool. He told Scrappy and Jock, "I'm not feeding into nonsense," and swore he had nothing to hide when he was encircled by the guys. "If I answer, a falsehood gains momentum," reminding Mendeecees that perception matters a lot, particularly while cameras are rolling. Scrappy wasn't persuaded. "Bro, you might not care, but your wife." Mendeecees sipped his drink, his composure frustrating his friends as much as it reassured him. To him, silence was strength, but to everyone else, it appeared to be avoidance. The Frost couple, never one to miss an opportunity to stir things up, made sure their voices were heard. "Do these rumors stick? They stain." At a fashion event, Rashida confronted Yandy, accusing her of inciting the drama while feigning indifference. Yandy reacted angrily, calling Rashida a liar who was incapable of maintaining order in her own home. Kirk, who was standing close by, added his characteristic smirk, implying that if Mendeecees had been spooning someone, perhaps he was finally tired of phony marriages. Yandy's face hardened and the crowd gasped. She cautioned Kirk not to mention her name, but the damage was done. Their feud had reached a new level and the fans were hooked. Spice, who was watching from the sidelines, attempted to reason, but ended up insulting herself. Bambi disagreed, accusing Spice of having an excessive love for drama. What started as a casual conversation devolved into Spice and Bambi rehashing their own feud, calling each other out for botched surgeries and fake houses. Once again, the original rumor became the trigger, reminded everyone that Atlanta streets talk and that if Momma Dee said she saw something, it couldn't be dismissed outright. "They can't touch my businesses, so they come for my marriage." Back at home, Yandy battled her emotions, and cameras captured her in private moments, venting to close friends that she was sick of being the target. For battles that had nothing to do with Mendeecees, they demonstrated how one claim could destroy multiple relationships. She refused to let others dictate her story, but even in her most powerful moments, the doubt in her eyes betrayed her. She wanted to believe in her husband, but the whispers, the clips, the confrontations, it was all building up. A turning point was when Momma Dee and Yandy finally sat down face to face. Her words showed a deep frustration, but also a determination. "You're playing with my marriage," Yandy said, her arms crossed, her voice low but firm. "You're playing with my marriage," she said. Momma Dee leaned back unrepentant. "I'm not playing." It was tense from the beginning. Momma Dee repeated what she saw, describing the scene in Buckhead with even more passion, insisting she knew what intimacy looked like. "I'll tell you what I observed." The audience fell silent as the remarks weighed heavily. For fans, it was a turning point, two strong women fighting for perception, loyalty, and reality.